Hi guys, this is Canadian. Today we're doing a VOD review of a Platinum player on Zarya. We're going to be focusing on their barrier usage, their ultimate usage, and their positioning. So let's get started. The initial self barrier here is pretty good, blocks the Helix rockets, blocks that burst damage, and gets some okay charge to start. Not too bad. Good barriers here to push the choke here. Now you've got 70 charge. You can melt this D.Va, really push up and threaten their backline. Good job. Kind of an awkward projected barrier right there. I'm assuming you're trying to hit the Reinhardt, which would have been a lot better if he had pushed up with it.
Come on, keep going.
Kind of an awkward barrier right there. Lucio was exiting that fight and he wasn't in too much danger, so he didn't get much value out of that barrier. It's an alright self barrier right here, kind of anticipating the sleep dart. You didn't get too much charge out of it, but good target selection by going for that Ana. Also, a really good projected shield right there to protect the Lucio from the Mei freeze so he can get off that sound barrier.
She's dead.
Good self barrier right here to really put yourself in the front line and push them off the point so your team can cap.
Nicely done.
Not a great barrier right here. He wasn't in any danger. You don't get any charge out of it. Just try to avoid those. It's an okay self barrier right here. They weren't really shooting your Rhine shield too much, and you were a little too far in front of your team, so you didn't get much out of it. Good self barrier here to block the D.Va ult. However, you do have projected barrier up. You should be looking for a teammate to save. As you can see, the Lucio did die to the D.Va bomb. Right here, you see this Reaper is kind of cut off from his team. He's only with his Mercy. You should really have pushed him with your self barrier up. You could have hit 60 charge and maybe killed him or the Mercy.
Reaper behind.
Kind of awkward barrier use right here. You do shield the D.Va, but she gets tossed off the edge, and you used your own barrier, and you didn't get any charge from it. Now you don't have any way to protect from this tac visor, and you get cut down instantly.
Yeah, 3 of them are in the building.
Rope up and
Right here, you probably should have pushed up with your Reinhardt, since you have both barriers up and your ultimate. This is a pretty bad projected barrier right here. He was exiting the fight and he had plenty of health. And now your projected barrier is on cooldown. You don't have it up to save the Reinhardt right here. You could have saved him, but now he's dead. Good projected barrier right here to help your soldier get some charge. However, he just looks like he doesn't want to live and throws his life away.
Reaper above us.
This projected barrier is not that good. You're shielding a D.Va that's fighting a Reaper in Wraith form, so you're not going to get any value out of it. Now you don't have projected barrier for your nano boosted Rhine. He gets earth shattered and charged back. That projected barrier on him earlier would have been a lot better.
Reaper above again.
Right here you reload with 40 ammo left. You could have just killed the Reaper instead of reloading. You also pop your self shield versus a Reaper in Wraith form, so you don't get any value out of it. This projected barrier is kind of awkward. I don't know why you were shielding him. There was no danger. And then you could have used that on D.Va to protect her from the soldier ult.
I'll use ultimate.
This is a really bad ultimate right here. It's in a terrible spot. Your team can't follow up because of how far away they are, plus the Rhine shield's up. Just try to, never do that again. This is a really bad self-shield right there. Clearly, Reinhardt was blocking the D.Va ult. There was no need to use your self-barrier. And this D.Va ult, again, she's not in any danger. The Rhine's not even swinging at her. So you wasted both your barriers and had a really bad ultimate. Just a bad engagement. This is a good projected barrier right here. Keeps your D.Va up on the front line. You get full value out of it. That's the sort of barriers you want. Right here, the Ana's out of position, you self-shield and then retreat. You probably could have walked up and killed her with your 70 charge. That was a good projected barrier on the D.Va though to get full charge and keep her alive. Here, the Ana gets pinned by the Reinhardt. You have both your barriers up and 70 charge, but you retreat extremely
Fall
early.
back,
When you
go
look
up and
back,
fall
you see
back.
you have 3 teammates up. With your charge and your barriers, you might have been able to make something happen there. So you retreated really early. I'm not sure why. I mean, you called for them to fall back, but really that was a bad call. The 4 of you might have been able to make something happen, especially with a high charge Zarya that has both barriers up.
Now let's go.
Good barrier on the Reinhardt right here. He takes the initiative and charges in with it. However, your self barrier wasn't very good. You didn't get any value out of it. No one was attacking you, and then you couldn't block the D.Va ult.
Okay, fall back again.
Good projected barrier right there to try and keep him alive as he attempts to escape. Although right here you have self barrier up, you should have used it and walked up to your soldier that was knocked down to kind of body block for him. Thankfully, he did not die though.
Yeah, let's do that.
Coming up, you have both barriers and 50 charge, and you see these 2 enemies in close quarters. You should push them with your self shield and kill them. Good barrier to protect the Lucio, but a terrible ultimate to follow it up. Reaper will just escape. You didn't need to ult there to kill the Mercy. You still haven't used your self barrier. So, I mean, in a tiny corridor like that, by the way, good barrier on D.Va. In a tiny corridor like that, push them with your self barrier. You have a bunch of charge. You will melt them. Good self barrier right here. It denies D.Va any mech charge and gives you free charge, so good self barrier. Kind of a wasted barrier right here. There's no one around. D.Va's not taking any damage. Could have probably saved that. Good self shield right here to protect you from soldier. However, you should have rotated to put yourself between him and the Ana. And since you had just used your projected barrier earlier on D.Va that didn't get any value, now your Ana dies because you don't have a barrier for her. Can't really fault you for the self shield right here. You had 25 HP. That Reinhardt should have killed you, but instead he turned around and completely wasted his ultimate. Kind of weird. Good self barrier right here to get a bunch of charge and melt D.Va's mech. Side note, you should be right clicking D.Va's mech right as she gets ejected so you can damage baby D.Va for free. Good ultimate here to catch 2 big targets. Should have reloaded beforehand. Right here, you reload after you expended 9 ammo. Don't do that. You're wasting a lot of DPS. Here you have really bad target selection. You have 90 charge and self barrier. You could have picked any one of these 3 targets to kill, Reinhardt, Reaper, or D.Va. Instead, you just kind of ignore the D.Va that is right there to your left. You do get the soldier though, so that's good. But you really need to focus a target in fights like this. And you kind of spent 10 seconds just kind of shooting aimlessly until the reinforcements arrived.
Nice one.
Defend on the high ground, please.
This would have been a good barrier here if their soldier could aim, but he completely misses you. Good projected barrier on the Reaper, you do get some charge. However, when they have a Reinhardt, it's a common strategy, the Reinhardt will charge in, so you kind of want to save your barrier for that instance, like right there. If you had your projected barrier up, you could have saved that Reaper. Here you have 70 charge and 27 ammo, yet you decide to reload when all the squishy enemies are in the choke. You should right-click that choke to really increase your DPS. Try to get out of the habit of reloading when you have, a bunch of ammo left. Good self-barrier here to turn the fight against soldier in your favor. You do get full charge out of it, and now you have the advantage in this 2v1, especially because that Mercy was damage boosting and not healing. This is a bad projected barrier right here. He's already in Wraith form. He's not going to take any damage. He's not in any danger, so you wasted that cooldown. This is a good self shield right here to push the choke. However, you didn't fire a single round into all those enemies. If you're going to push up like that, make sure you do shoot them. So this is a really bad ultimate right here. You have high charge and both barriers up, but you're ulting from a really disadvantageous position. You can't see them, you can't shoot them, so nothing really comes out of it. You gotta stop using your ults like that. This is really bad target selection right here. Reinhardt just ulted your entire team and you just kind of walk away from him and you don't chase a soldier. You're kind of stuck in between two decisions. You really have to make one decision and stick with it. Here you shield Ana when she's not in any danger. One, she shouldn't have dropped down. But now that your barrier is on cooldown, you can't shield her when she's actually taking damage and she dies. This is a debatable barrier right here on the soldier. He's fighting an enemy that's super weak and he has a self-heal. So now your projected barrier is on cooldown and you can't save anyone from this Reaper ult, and he does get a triple kill. Although good self-barrier to protect yourself from him. Your diva gets chunked to half and then you barrier her. You probably should have buried her a little sooner. This is a perfect self-barrier right here. You self-barrier, eat a bunch of damage, and then fall back. That's what you want, and that's how you gain and maintain charge. Decent projected barrier here to get full charge, although Diva shouldn't be defense matrixing when she does have bubble. Here you have decent charge and self-barrier and your ultimate. You probably could have dived their backline and gotten a good kill or two to really turn this fight in your favor. It's an okay projected barrier right there. You should still be fighting with your diva, supporting her while she is nano boosted. You get a good ult here, catching a lot of members, although you reload when you had 90 plus ammo. Also, you could have shielded diva right there since she was in front of the Reinhardt. It would have blocked the Earthshatter and given you a lot of charge. Here you reload with 50 ammo left while the Zarya is shooting you. You should expend that ammo to kill her faster or defend yourself, but good job killing those two targets. Good job focusing the soldier right here, although you do self-barrier a little late after he gets his burst off. You should have attacked this Reinhardt here. His shield's broken, you have 60 charge. You could have melted him and got a lot of ult charge. Now that their front line just died and you have 70 charge, you should push into them with your self-shield, although you do retreat. I'm not sure why. Diva does have the right idea by pushing forward with the barrier you put on her, but she does overextend and loses her mech. Here you engage on a Reaper and you pop your self-shield once he enters Wraith form, which is a bit of a mistake. Also, while that's going on, Soldier does use his tac visor and you didn't look to save a teammate with your projected barrier. So if you hear Soldier ult, you should be looking to save someone instead of attacking a Reaper that you can't do damage to. You know, shield the Lucio, maybe he's got sound barrier. Shield the Ana, she's such a crucial healer. Instead, you get no value out of chasing that Reaper and 3 allies died while you had projected barrier up. Not a great projected barrier right here. He's exiting the fight. Diva's defense matrix, and you're not going to get any value out of it.
I have ultimate.
Another really bad ultimate. I don't know why you're tossing them in these crazy spots. When you do that, you're giving them two walls. The Reinhardt wall in the front and the ceiling in the back. Now your team can't do any damage to them. You don't communicate when you're going to use it. You just kind of say, hey, I've got ultimate, and toss it out. You really don't want to do that with such a powerful ultimate like Zarya's. It really requires good communication to get full value out of her ultimate. Good barriers to start off this fight. Now you've got a decent amount of charge and you can focus down the Zarya. Good job. Good barrier on Diva so she can get in the face of that soldier, and a good self shield because you're taking damage from somewhere, so it does protect you. Good job. Bit of a wasted barrier right here. He wasn't in too much danger and you don't get much charge out of it. And since you don't have your projected barrier anymore, since you just used it, the soldier dies when you could have protected him. Probably should have barriered Diva right here. She's clearly getting focused by the Reaper, and without the barrier she loses her mech. So you've just killed the Reaper and you have high charge. However, you move up onto the cart and then you make it extremely difficult for yourself to track these enemies. You're standing on the cart with 100 charge, but you're not really focusing down anyone. This Zarya and Soldier are both on the right side. They're free targets, so easy to kill, but you really don't pay them any attention. However, you do get a good graviton right here to catch both the healers. In that situation, though, between Ana and Mercy, you should really focus down the Mercy first. She's really important. But in that case, you could have just right-clicked the ultimate and killed them both at the same time.
They're on the high ground. Let's go to the left.
You should bury your diva right here the instant she gets hooked. Bit of an awkward self-shield right here. Symmetra's really weak right now. Maybe should have waited till she was charged. However, that's a really good projected barrier on the soldier who was oblivious to the Roadhog standing right behind him. This is a perfect projected barrier and what you should really aim for every time you use the projected barrier if your goal isn't to get charged. You perfectly save the diva. She does get back into mech and you are able to kill that Reinhardt that's now way out of position. This is completely wasted self-shield. You were expecting Symmetra turrets that weren't there. If anything, wait for them to shoot you, then self-shield. Since you wasted your self-shield cooldown, now you don't have it to attack the point, and you just get absolutely melted. If you're expecting stationary defenses, let them shoot you first before you self-shield. That way you don't waste your barrier like that. So the round ends. The player isn't able to touch the point, so I'm just going to cut to the next round. This is an okay barrier right here. It's not really needed. Bastion will beat a Winston every time, so hopefully that doesn't bite you in the butt. Decent self-shield here. Kind of got lucky that Ryan charged you, but you do waste your projected barrier on the Lucio, who's not in any danger, and now you don't have it up to save the Ana, who's being focused by the Diva. Kind of an awkward self-shield right here. He was swinging, but you weren't letting him hitting you, so you didn't get any value out of it. Probably should have been focusing that Lucio on the left-hand side. He's just kind of been hanging out over there. You do get a lucky kill onto the soldier, though. Right here, you have self-shield and 70 charge. You turn around and attack the Reinhardt. You should have pushed into their squishies since they're completely unprotected, especially when Ryan charges forward. Overall, you had an okay performance on Zarya. You definitely need to go back and re-examine how you use your barriers. Use them more reactively instead of preemptively. Also, you didn't have that many good ultimates. I think you had like 1 or 2 good ones, and the other ones were just really awkward in positions that your team can't follow up on. You can't attack. Really, choose your ult placement wisely. It takes a long time to get ultimate charge, especially if you're not doing any damage. Also, your communication needs some work. You didn't say much besides I have an ult and you were using it, or fall back, etc. And definitely use tab more to see what your allies' ultimates are at so you can get good combos in. You were kind of just doing your own thing mostly for this game. You really want to work as a team when you're playing Zarya. Definitely go back and look at your barrier usage. You really want to get full value out of those barriers and save your teammates. Also, I always expect players to work on improving their aim and positioning. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this VOD review was helpful. I really try to talk about what I want the player to know to improve their Zarya gameplay. If you like this video or you like any other videos, feel free to subscribe for more content coming in the future. Thanks for watching.